In the quiet seaside town of Southend-on-Sea, nestled along the coast of Essex, England, a boy once stood in his backyard and felt something ancient stir within him. Something cold, something savage, something inhuman. For nearly 4 decades, Bill Ramsey would live in the shadows of an unspeakable transformation. Part man, part beast. He bit, he growled. He fought with inhuman strength. Police couldn't stop him. Doctors couldn't explain him. And only an exorcism across the Atlantic might have saved him. This is not just a legend. This is the terrifying, documented case of the man they called the Southend Werewolf. It began like something out of a Stephen King novel. The year was 1952. Bill Ramsey was just 9 years old. It was a chilly Saturday afternoon when the unexplainable happened. Bill was playing in his backyard, an ordinary boy in an ordinary home in an ordinary town. But then something changed. A blast of icy cold air swept over his body, unnaturally cold. His skin prickled with sweat that instantly froze. A vile stench, foul and nauseating, hung in the air, strong enough to make him nearly vomit. His thoughts, not fear, not confusion, but wolves, and running to the sea. The trance didn't break until his mother called out for him. But when he snapped back to reality, he was changed. With a sudden monstrous strength, young Bill ripped the fence post from the ground, mesh and all, and swung it like a club. His parents, terrified, retreated indoors. Then, Bill began gnawing on the metal mesh, animalistic growls rumbling from deep within him. And then, just as quickly as it came, the rage left. He calmed. The cold was gone. The boy returned. But something had awakened. Something that would not sleep forever. 15 years passed. Bill grew up, got married, became a father. By all appearances, he was a normal man living a normal life. But in the darkness of his dreams, the beast was stirring. For the first 2 years of his marriage, Bill was haunted by nightmares. Always the same. Always chilling. He would follow his wife, always a few steps behind, until she turned, looked at him in horror, and ran. He'd wake in cold sweats, filled with dread, unable to shake the feeling that he was the monster in her dreams. Then, silence. Dreams stopped. Life went on for a time. Another 15 years passed. It was on 1983. Bill was in his late 30s, out drinking with friends at a local pub. And it happened again. The same icy chill crept over him. That same surge of unnatural adrenaline. He excused himself and went to the restroom. What he saw in the mirror chilled him to his core. Not his own reflection, but a wolf staring back. On the drive home, the transformation escalated. Without warning, Bill began growling. His hands twisted into claw-like shapes. He lunged at his friend, trying to bite his leg. The car screeched to a stop. Bill had to be dragged out of the vehicle, snarling, foaming at the mouth, before he finally calmed. A few months later, things took a horrifying turn. Bill felt chest pains and feared a heart attack. He rushed to the local hospital, but during a simple blood pressure check, the beast took control. Bill bit the nurse. Then he charged through the emergency ward like a man possessed, growling, hunched over, clawed hands swinging wildly. Witnesses described him as an animal. It took multiple staff members and eventually a tranquilizer to bring him down. By morning, the transformation had vanished. Bill was calm. He ate a full breakfast, rational, remorseful, but also confused. The doctors recommended observation. Bill declined. He walked out of the hospital, but he'd be back. January 1984. Bill visited his mother and began to feel the now familiar symptoms. He returned to the hospital just in time. But this time, a lone nurse was in the room. Bill threw her aside and lunged at an orderly. By sheer luck, 4 police officers entered at that moment. But even they struggled. Bill Ramsey, medium build, average height, fought off 4 trained officers, injured one so badly that he was hospitalized for 4 days. Again, Bill calmed. Again, he regained control. The police surgeon examined him, found nothing. Bill refused mental care, and once again, he walked free. Three years passed. Then came one of the most violent episodes yet. Summer 1987. Bill made a citizen's arrest on a teenage prostitute. But just as a police officer approached him, the beast inside stirred. The officer touched Bill's arm, and that was all it took. Bill roared, threw the officer to the ground, and began choking him with monstrous strength. It took over a dozen officers and 2 tranquilizers to subdue him. MRI scans, X-rays, psychiatric evaluations, nothing. No diagnosis. Just a man who would transform and then forget. A man both victim and monster. Across the Atlantic, famed American demonologists Ed and Lorraine Warren, yes, those Warrens, were touring the UK when they heard Bill's story on television. Lorraine Warren believed instantly this wasn't psychological, this was possession. They contacted Bill. After some discussion, Bill agreed to fly to Connecticut with his wife, sponsored by a tabloid newspaper, to undergo an exorcism. The night before the ritual, Bill nearly strangled his wife in his sleep. The beast inside was furious, and it knew what was coming. At a church in Connecticut, Bishop Robert McKenna led the exorcism. At first, nothing happened. 30 minutes passed. Latin prayers filled the air. And then it began. Bill's face contorted. His hands twisted into claws. His lips curled. And a primal roar shook the chapel. The beast had returned for one final stand. McKenna shouted commands, forcing the demon to reveal itself. Then, just once, the full force of Bill's werewolf fury exploded onto the bishop and vanished. It was over. The transformation never returned. Bill Ramsey's final public appearance was in 1992. He confirmed, no more transformations, no more dreams, no more rage. Whatever had taken hold of him was gone. To this day, no one knows for sure what afflicted Bill Ramsey. Was it mental illness, a repressed trauma, or something far more ancient, a real possession by something not human? He never transformed again, but that boy in the backyard, the one who felt the icy cold and dreamed of wolves, would always live somewhere deep within. So, what do you believe? Was Bill Ramsey possessed? Or was he cursed? Was it psychological or supernatural? Let me know your theories in the comments below. If you enjoy real supernatural horror, urban legends, and true paranormal stories, be sure to hit the subscribe button and ring the bell. Until next time.